A part of our brain is called the bird brain. It's always hunting around 1,000 miles a second, jumping from little bit of ground from one to the next. And it's hunting for the worm. And our brain has that function in our pineal gland that hunts. In many of our cases, it hunts for what our body needs. So whatever we've trained ourselves to think that we need the most is what the bird brain / pineal gland is going to hunt for us. It's going to try to fit that habit module in the back of our brain. And the thing is, a lot of the times we take the cues from modern society and we make those the things, for example, women, money. Those are the things that the society validates and values, so therefore we hunt for it. We create a habit, a module, and then our mind's eye looks around all the time. For many of us, we see women on the street and we know what kind of form we're looking for, and automatically our eyes shift over to there. And so we have a real hard time with keeping our minds and our hearts pure, because all the time we're thinking that this is actually what's valuable, when in reality it's evil. But we don't realize that this function of our mind to be looking around for the worms also has other parts of life that it works in. And one of them is in Torah, in Avodah, in Gimilut Chasadim. In other words, when we're learning Torah, we are very well suited, even if not trained for, finding chidushim within the Torah, simply because there's a new perspective to observe it in, and a new pineal gland / bird brain to pull out the threads of intent and the bits of information and put all the disparate pieces together into a picture. But if we've only trained that bird brain to hunt for money, or to hunt for women, or to hunt for comfort or relaxation, or whatever it is we've trained it to hunt for, then we're going to have a real hard time utilizing it for what it was really designed for. And when that occurs, we get in trouble with our Father in heaven. He says, I gave you all the tools, and you used it to make averot. What were you thinking? And that's a rhetorical question. He'll know, we'll know, everyone will know what we were thinking. And it won't be pretty. One, we won't like it. In the world of truth, we won't like knowing that we could have done better but just didn't. We had better ideas. We knew better. And that will be mega embarrassing. Because when we know that we knew better, we will have wished we would have done better. Kind of like those guys that you may have heard saying, oh, if I knew search was going to be such a big thing, I would have put together Google myself. Or if I knew the iPhone was such a big idea, I would have made it myself. I had that idea 10 years earlier. Those guys exist. But that's the same mentality of, if only I had known. But Hashem gave us the Torah. The farther we have gotten from Him in the generations, the more elucidation He's allowed to come into the world. The more sifarim have been printed in order to enlighten us. We can learn what He wants. He's not hiding from us as much as we are blinding ourselves. And that's what I really drive myself nuts with, because it's not okay anymore. The internet exists, you know. There's no Christian hordes rushing to kill Jewish towns. it's just not happening. And so we don't have the excuses of the past generations. They're not doing it. It's now just us. It's now just our lonesome, guilty selves. And we can't say anything back. We have no more answers. We need to get better at being what we already are. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to reinflate the wheel. Reinflate the wheel. Reinflate the wheel. It's like Make America Great Again. Reinflate the wheel. And Mirza Hashem will figure out what it means to reinflate the wheel with truth rather than with comfort. Comfort is a noose. You want a quick way to die? Get comfortable. Which is why any rabbi I hear that doesn't rebuke, if there's no rebuke coming out of the rabbi's shiurim, he ain't a rabbi at all. He just isn't. Because he's missing the point. The key that opens the lock is rebuke. How he does it is up to him. How the people hear it is up to them. But that it was done, that is the ultimate point to a rabbi's existence. It's not so much about teaching me Torah, alright? I can go open the book, read it, and then if I have the art scroll, very handy, know it. And with the volume of people that are using an art scroll, if it's not a good enough translation, we're in trouble. We're in bigger trouble than just rabbis who aren't rabbis because they don't rebuke. We're in bigger trouble because there's information that's not real if art scroll is not reliable. So let's assume art scroll is reliable. With the art scroll being as reliable as it is, rabbis that don't rebuke don't need them. Don't need them.